Have you ever thought about what happens when you finally decide that enough is enough? When you've poured your heart, your soul, every ounce of energy into making them see your worth, and yet time after time they failed to recognize it. You were the one putting in the effort, the one who went the extra mile, the one who stood there unconditionally, but there comes a day. A pivotal moment when you decide that you've given enough. You make the choice to stop. You decide they'll no longer feel the warmth of your presence, the safety of your support. You decide finally to let them taste life without you in it. That day, that very moment is when they feel the crushing weight of realizing they've lost something replaceable. It's often said that people don't appreciate what they have until it's gone, but rarely do we consider the intense, silent agony that dawns upon someone who realizes too late that they've lost you. The saddest thing about betrayal, as John Lahr wrote, is that it never comes from your enemies. It's not an enemy that disregards your value. It's the people you held closest, the ones you let into the deepest parts of your life, who take you for granted. So when you walk away, when you finally decide to live for yourself, rather than begging for scraps of their attention, they're left standing in the cold, feeling the hollow echo of your absence. Imagine it. You were the lighthouse in their storm, the quiet reassurance that no matter what chaos surrounded them, there was always a safe harbor waiting, and yet they treated you as if you were replaceable, temporary, like something that would always just be there. But what happens to the sailor when the lighthouse disappears? They are lost, directionless, cast into a darkness they didn't anticipate. They thought they could navigate on their own. And now they're stumbling blindly, reaching out for the light that's no longer there. How many times did you excuse their indifference, waiting for a change, hoping they'd one day see your worth? How many moments did you sacrifice, wishing they'd appreciate the gift of your presence? And more importantly, how many times did you doubt your own value because they couldn't or wouldn't see it? We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Said Seneca, yet the pain of leaving, of finally choosing yourself, that's real, raw, and transformative. Walking away is never easy, but sometimes it's the bravest thing you can do in choosing yourself. You're choosing peace over pain, clarity over confusion, and dignity over desperation. When they lose you, a shift happens, almost like the slow burn of an ember, turning cold at first. They might feel the thrill of independence, the allure of freedom, but soon the weight of solitude sinks in. Who will they turn to now? Who will understand them in ways they didn't even understand themselves? They'll go through their days, feeling an emptiness they can't quite explain, a hollow ache that WS at them in the quiet hours of the night. Because ultimately, it's the person who cared the most who leaves the greatest void when they're gone. As the philosopher Epicus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. And their reaction, once they fully comprehend their loss, will be one of regret, of frustration, of a sorrow they cannot shake in the quiet hours of night when distractions fade and only their thoughts remain. They realize they've been chasing shadows, clinging to illusions, thinking they had time. Now they see the truth. They were not the hero of this story. Instead, they were the fool, too blind to see the loyalty, love, and strength that stood right in front of them. They thought you were a constant, like the sunrise that greets each day, but now that light is gone and they are left to confront the darkness within, and there's no hiding from that, they will feel the pain and would want to come back to you, begging you to come back. But their ego will initially stop them, but that ego, it's just a phrase. And the story of their regret has much more to unfold. And we don't dive deep into this to the moment they come crawling back to you. So if this is resonating with you, helping you out, please hit the like button under this video and subscribe to the channel to help this video to reach more people looking for help, so they may try to fill the void with others' distractions. Attempts to move on, but nothing will compare, and deep down they know it. They'll realize that finding someone unlike you again is not just unlikely, it's nearly impossible. You are rare, a gem among stones, a steadfast force in a world full of fleeting moments, and when they truly grasp that the heartbreak of that understanding will be as relentless as it is profound, it's only when they've lost you, when they're left alone to confront their emptiness, that they understand the weight of their mischief judgment. They'll recognize far too late that some people are irreplaceable, and they will eventually come crawling back to you. But my friend, this is where you must summon every ounce of strength you possess, The moment they come crawling back, feeling that ache of loss and haunted by memories of you, it's tempting to fall into old patterns. It's easy to mistake their sudden attention, their regret for genuine change. But be warned, they're back because they want you to become their puppet. Once again, to draw you back into the cycle you fought so hard to break. Stand firm, because this isn't about them anymore. It's about you reclaiming your power, refusing to be the pawn in someone else's game. I'm going to walk you through this journey. Step by step, the exact stage they'll go through as they come to grips with the reality of losing you. Each stage bring them closer to that desperate point where they'll come crawling back. Stick with me, because as we go through these 8 steps, things will start to crystallize. You'll understand not only their motives, but also why standing strong and refusing to go back is the most liberating choice you can make. So let's dive into these 8 steps, each one revealing just how deep their regret runs and how powerful you truly are in their absence. So if you are ready to dive deep, hit that like button. If you have not already, as this video is helping you out, and it is your job to help this video too. So now let's dive deep into their journey of regret and realization. Step 1, shock. So friends, the first thing that will hit them is an overwhelming sense of shock. It's a cold, sudden realization that leaves them disoriented, struggling to process that you've actually walked away. Up until now, they've seen your love and commitment as something constant, like the sunrise always there. Reliable, something they never had to think about losing. They took your loyalty, your kindness, your steady presence as a given. But now for the first time, they're forced to face the reality that you are gone, and that realization, that jolt of clarity, hits them like a punch they never saw coming. Imagine it. The person who thought they held all the control, who believed they could pull you in and push you away at will, now finds themselves standing alone. They may even check their phone, repeatedly expecting a message, a call, some small sign that you'll reach out. Just like you always have. But there's nothing. Silence, and that silence speaks louder than any words could. Left reeling with the unsettling feeling that something powerful, something irreplaceable has slipped right through their fingers. Shock isn't just a moment of surprise. It's the shattering of an illusion. And the illusion they clung to was the belief that you'd always be there, waiting. Available whenever they decided they wanted you back. But now, as the dust settles, realize that you were serious, that you've genuinely chosen to put yourself first. They're forced to confront the truth. They lost you, and this loss is real. As La once said, new beginnings are often disguised as painful endings. For you, this is a new beginning for them. It's the start of a painful journey they never thought they'd have to endure. Now, here's what you need to understand at this stage. Their shock will drive them to do whatever they can to reestablish control of their confusion. They might reach out, test the waters, or try to lure you back with the same tactics they used before. They may act nonchalant, pretend they don't care, or even throw out phrases like, I thought you'd be back by now. This is their way of denying what's really happening, of trying to maintain a sense of superiority. But you have to recognize this for what it is. A reaction born of fear, not genuine remorse. Here's a metaphor for you. Picture them standing on a cliff gazing down at the life they once took for granted. When you were there, they were at the edge, but didn't care about the danger, feeling invincible, with you as their safety net. Now suddenly they're on that cliff alone, and the ground beneath them feels unstable. They feel the absence of your steadying presence, the support they leaned on without a second thought. The shock isn't just about losing you. It's about realizing the extent to which they depended on you without ever truly appreciating you. Now, in this moment of shock, you may feel tempted to reach out to explain yourself or to offer them closure, but don't. Giving them closure now only relieves them of facing the full weight of what they've lost. If you step in to soothe their discomfort, to offer explanations, it only reinforces their belief that you're still there, that they haven't truly lost you, as difficult as it is. Let them feel this shock. This is their journey now. And every moment of silence, every unanswered message is a reminder of the choice you've made to walk away. Stand firm and remember, this stage is necessary for both of you. As the philosopher Rumi once wrote, the wound is the place where the light enters you. Your absence is that wound, and they need to feel it fully. To truly understand, you need to stay grounded in your decision. To remember why you walked away in the first place. Think of this stage as the foundation of your new self-worth, the start of a chapter where you prioritize yourself if you go back. Now you risk falling into the same old patterns, handing them control all over again. Remember, their shock is their reaction to losing something. Of value, this is not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their own inability to appreciate you. When they had you instead of soothing their shock, use it as a motivator for yourself. Embrace this moment as proof of your strength, of your decision to choose self-respect over pleasing someone who couldn't see your worth. And don't forget, every day you stand firm is a day that you're growing stronger, more self-reliant. Their shock will eventually pass, but your strength will remain a constant reminder of the power you have to walk away from anyone who doesn't recognize your value in the end as you stand firm in this phase. Remember this quote by Sina, as is a tale, so is life, not how long it is, but how good it is what matters. You are writing a new chapter, one filled with self-worth, dignity, and strength. They may feel the shock of losing you, but you, my friend, are finally free. Hold on to that. This shock is the beginning of their journey and the beginning of your freedom. Stand firm and let them face what they've lost. Step 2, denial. The shock has set in, and now they're spinning into denial. They can't believe you're actually gone. They think, no way they'll come back. They always do. This is the stage where they convince themselves that this is just a temporary rift, a little disagreement. They'll tell themselves that you're just upset, that you'll get over it. You're still there, just waiting. They don't see it as the end. Not yet in their mind. You're still orbiting around them, ready to come back the moment they snap their fingers. Denial is their way of keeping control over the situation. It's their way of downplaying the loss, of pretending things are the same as they were before they'll even create excuses in their head, saying things like they just need some space or this won't last. They cannot accept the reality that you've genuinely chosen to leave, because acknowledging it means facing the emptiness of their actions instead of facing the truth. They cling to the comforting lie that you'll come back, as Marcus Aurelius said. Reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself, self, disappears. In denial, they're trying to erase the impact of losing you by refusing to believe it's real. And here's what they do during this stage. They might act as if nothing's wrong, like you're still an option, waiting in the wings. You might notice them posting online, living their life like nothing happened, or even pretending to be unbothered. They're playing it cool, trying to convince themselves and anyone else watching that they're unaffected. But underneath that facade is a brewing desperation. This is their way of distracting themselves, a way to feel like they're still in control, may even test you. Sending casual messages or trying to subtly pull you back as if the entire break were just a misunderstanding. But here's what you have to do. Nothing. Silence. This is the moment to keep your distance, to stay steady. Don't fall for their attempts to pull you back into the cycle. They'll try to hook you with messages that seem casual, as if nothing's wrong, hoping to provoke a response that reassures them. Don't give in. This is not the time to clarify your decision, to offer closure, or to ease their discomfort. Let them feel the distance, because denial can only survive in the absence of reality. Your silence forces them to confront the truth. They're so determined to ignore. Think of it like this. They're building a house of eves, each one carefully placed. Keep up the illusion that you're still there, that nothing has changed. But every moment of silence from you is a gust of wind threatening to topple it. The longer you stand firm, the more fragile their denial becomes. The reality of your absence starts to crack through, and that's when they'll begin to feel the truth sinking in. This is where your strength comes into play. Don't offer explanations. Don't give them the satisfaction of thinking you're still reachable. Your silence is a reminder that they've lost access to something precious, and no amount of denial can cover that up. Remember, denial is just a delay. It's their way of coping with a loss. They're not ready to face a refusal to see what's right in front of them. But it's temporary. With every passing day, the weight of your absence grows heavier, and you're growing stronger, gaining clarity that only comes from standing your ground. Denial may shield them from the truth for a while, but your silence will bring it crashing down as you hold steady through this stage. Remember this quote by Epictetus man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems. Their denial is an imagined shield, and when it crumbles, they'll be left with the raw truth. And you'll still be standing free, unwavering. Step 3. Anger when denial finally loses its grip. Anger comes rushing in. It hits them hard, like a storm breaking through after a long, tense silence suddenly. They're no longer in denial about your absence. They're furious about it. They're angry with themselves for letting it come to this. But more than that, they're angry with you for daring to walk away in their mind. You had no right to leave, no right to disrupt the life they controlled. This anger is a mask, a way to avoid facing the deeper pain and regret simmering beneath the surface in this stage. They'll lash out either openly or in passive-aggressive ways. They might throw accusations calling you selfish, accusing you of giving up too easily, or even rewriting history to paint themselves as the victim. Their anger might seep through in cutting messages, dismissive words, or bitter social media posts. They'll tell themselves that you were in the wrong, that you should have tried harder, that you were too demanding. All of this is their attempt to shift the blame to avoid the discomfort of looking inward. As Seneca wisely said, most powerful is he who has himself in his own power. But right now, they're anything but powerful. They're at the mercy of emotions they can't control. Their anger is also a test. It's a way of probing, seeing if they can provoke a reaction, if they can bait you into an argument in their mind, if they can get you to respond, they can still draw you back in. Even if it's through conflict, anger, after all, is still a connection, still a way of keeping you in their orbit. They'll throw out barbs trying to spark a fight, hoping to draw you into a conversation that gives them back some semblance of control. Don't fall for it. Remember, every response you give them now is just fuel for their fire. A chance for them to twist the narrative back to their favor. What you have to do in this stage is simple. Stay calm. Stay grounded. Don't let their anger sway you. Don't let it pull you back into a dynamic where they hold the strings. Recognize their outbursts for what they are: desperation disguised as rage. You might feel the urge to defend yourself, to set the record straight, to respond to the accusations they hurl your way. Resist that urge. Your silence is your shield, a reminder that their anger cannot reach you, that you've risen above the chaos they're trying to create. Imagine it like this. They're a flame burning with anger, but you are water cool and unmoved. Their anger will flare up bright and intense, but it will burn out as long as you don't feed it. Every word you don't say, every reaction you withhold is a step toward your own peace, a decision to prioritize your sanity over their drama. By refusing to engage, you're showing them that their anger holds no power over you, that they've lost the ability to manipulate you with their emotions in the end. This anger is just another phase they have to pass through. It's a reflection of the frustration they feel, not a reflection of your worth. Remember this quote from Marcus Aurelius: "How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it? Their anger will only harm them, not you. You're beyond." They're reached now, untouchable by the bitterness. They try to project onto you. Stand firm, stay centered, and let their anger burn out on its own. You're on a path of peace, and nothing they say can pull you back. Step 4. Bargaining. After the storm of anger has subsided, they move into a stage that feels oddly quiet. Bargaining. This is the phase where their anger has softened, replaced by a desperate hope that they can somehow undo what's been done. They start looking back, replaying moments in their mind, searching for ways to fix things, to pull you back into their life. Bargaining is their attempt to rewind time, to rewrite the script in a way that keeps you close. It's a last-ditch effort, an attempt to patch up the cracks they themselves created in this stage. They might reach out with messages that sound remorseful, messages designed to trigger your memories, to make you remember the good times. They'll say things like, "I miss you." Or remember when they'll try to remind you of moments you shared, hoping you'll feel a pang of nostalgia, hoping that something in you will still respond to those memories. Their goal here is to hook you with the past, to make you question if maybe, just maybe, things could go back to the way they were. But think about it. If they couldn't see your worth when they had you, what guarantee do you have that they'll see it? Now, this bargaining isn't about genuine change. It's about them wanting the comfort and security you provided without doing the real work to earn it. They're not asking how they can truly grow or improve. They're only trying to pull you back to fill the emptiness they now feel as philosophy. Friedrich Nietzsche said, "He who has a why to live for can bear almost anyhow." Right now, their why is simply to avoid the discomfort of facing life without you. Not because they've genuinely transformed during bargaining. They'll also make promises, offers that sound too good to resist. They'll say, "I'll change," or "things will be different." This time, they might suggest meeting up just to talk, or they'll try to negotiate with small gestures, reaching out through mutual friends or dropping hints that they're thinking of you. But these promises often lack substance. They're empty words, a temporary balm for their regret. They want to regain the comfort of having you close, but they're not ready to put in the consistent effort needed to truly rebuild trust. Here's what you have to do. Stay grounded in the reality of why you walked away. Recognize these messages for what they are. Attempts to hook you emotionally, not signs of real growth. Don't allow yourself to be drawn back into the cycle by words alone. Remember, genuine change is reflected in actions, not just promises. If they truly wanted to change, they would be doing the hard work within themselves, not seeking shortcuts by making empty vows. Think of it like this. They're trying to build a bridge back to you with words and memories, but this bridge is flimsy, built on a foundation of guilt and fear rather than genuine respect and understanding. Don't let yourself be coaxed into stepping onto that unstable ground. Stand firm on the foundation you've built for yourself, and don't let nostalgia cloud your judgment. In the end, bargaining is just a stage. They have to go through a temporary moment of desperation, but you are stronger now, wiser. You know that true love and respect don't need to be bargained for. They're earned over time. As Epicus said, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Let your silence, your strength, and your commitment to yourself speak louder than their bargaining. Words ever could stand firm in your resolve, knowing that you've chosen freedom, peace, and self-respect over empty promises. This is your journey, and you're moving forward, not backward. Step 5, loneliness when bargaining fails, and then realize that words alone won't bring you back. They're left standing face to face with a feeling they've been trying to avoid all along. Loneliness, this is a profound stage, a harsh yet sobering reality that seeps in slowly, filling every quiet moment. No more bargaining, no more denial, just the stark realization of your absence. It's in this emptiness, this solitude, that they start to feel the true weight of losing you. It's not just about missing you, it's about coming to terms with the void they've created in their own life. This loneliness isn't just the absence of company. It's the absence of someone who truly cared, someone who was willing to go the distance. They start to notice the subtle ways in which their life feels incomplete without you. The lack of genuine conversation, the missing laughter, the warmth that once made even the simplest moments feel special. Now they sit in that silence, feeling the emptiness where your presence used to be, realizing that the companionship they took for granted has vanished. They may try to fill the gap with distractions, with shallow connections or fleeting experiences, hoping to mask the loneliness that's clawing at them. That no amount of social media, new faces, or superficial interactions can replace the bond they had with you. They look for you in others, hoping to recreate that same comfort, but it never feels quite right. Every connection feels like a cheap imitation, a hollow echo of what they once had. They begin to understand that finding someone like you isn't as easy as they assumed. This stage can be painful for you to observe from a distance. You may see them trying to fill the void, posting pictures that try to depict a happy life or surrounding themselves with people to keep busy. But don't be deceived. This loneliness is more than just a lack of company. It's an internal ache, a haunting realization that they've lost something rare and real. Your silence during this stage speaks louder than any words, reinforcing the reality that they can't simply replace you. Here's what you need to remember at this stage, that loneliness is their own journey to face. Don't let it pull you back into the cycle out of sympathy or guilt. This loneliness is not your responsibility to fix it. In fact, it's a necessary stage for them to experience if they are ever to fully understand the consequences of their actions. By feeling the full depth of this solitude, they're forced to confront the reality of who you were to them and how much they valued you. Imagine it like this. They're wandering through an empty house, moving from room to room, looking for traces of you, hoping to find a spark of the comfort they once had. But every room is empty, every corner quiet. They're left with memories, but memories aren't enough to fill the space you left behind. This loneliness becomes a mirror reflecting back their own choices, their failure to appreciate the gift of your presence when they had it. Hold on to this quote by Jean Paul. If you're lonely when you're alone, you're in bad company. This loneliness is their reckoning, a time for them to sit with themselves and come to terms with the reality of their loss. It's a necessary stage for them to understand that love, connection, and loyalty are not things to be taken lightly. As for you, take comfort in knowing that this solitude is part of their journey, not yours. You've chosen self-respect, freedom, and a life filled with genuine connections. By standing firm, you allow them to feel the weight of their loneliness, to experience the emptiness they created. You're free moving forward, and you're filling your life with things that nourish you. Let them sit in their silence. Let them face their solitude, and let them understand that losing someone like you is a lesson they'll carry for a lifetime. Step 6. Regret. After the loneliness sets in deeply, it begins to morph into something heavier, something that's harder to shake. Regret. This stage is one of the most painful for them because, unlike the fleeting pangs of loneliness, regret digs in and refuses to leave. They start to replay every moment, every decision, every careless word, and each time they chose something or someone else over you. Suddenly, those choices don't feel so justified. They begin to realize that each action, each instance of neglect, was a nail in the coffin of the relationship they once took for granted. Regret is relentless, and it seeps into their quiet moments, those late nights when everything is still, and all they're left with is the weight of their choices. They begin to see clearly that they had something real, something rare, and they let it slip through their fingers. It's only now, when they're left with the emptiness of their decisions, that they fully understand the depth of what they lost. They can't deny it anymore, can't brush it aside. They left with the hard truth that they're responsible for their own unhappiness in this stage. They'll likely reach out, driven by a need to unload their guilt, to seek some kind of redemption or closure. They might say things like, "I'm sorry for how I treated you," or "I realize now how much you meant to me." But remember, their regret doesn't require a response from you. This is their burden to bear, a consequence of their actions, and it's not your role to ease that for them. Regret, as Seneca said, is the punishment of folly, and experiencing it in full force. Think of their regret as a shadow that follows them, a constant reminder of the opportunity they wasted, the relationship they undervalued. It's a lesson that they'll carry with them, a reminder that true connections aren't disposable. They realize now that not everyone would have stayed, would have cared, or would have been as loyal as you were. For you, this stage is a testament to your strength, a moment to see just how far you've come. Their regret is a reflection of the value they missed, but it's also a reminder that you've chosen a life of respect and authenticity. Stand firm, knowing that you've moved forward, free from the weight of their regrets, and ready to embrace what truly deserves you. Step 7. Desperation. When regret becomes too overwhelming to bear, it pushes them into a state of desperation. This stage is raw, intense, and all they consume. Desperation is the realization that they're on the verge of losing you for good, and the fear of that loss hits them harder than they ever expected. They're no longer simply reminiscing or quietly regretting. They're scrambling, grasping at any chance to bring you back. Their calm facade is gone, replaced by an urgency that fuels every word, every message, every attempt to reach out. Desperation leads them to say and do things they never would have considered before. They might show up unannounced, flood you with messages, or make grand emotional gestures. They promise change, swear they've learned their lesson, and may even bring up memories that they know will tug at your heart. This is the point where they'll say whatever they think might work to pull you back in. "I'll do anything to make it right," they'll say, or "I finally understand what I lost." But remember, desperation is often rooted in fear of loss, not genuine transformation. In this state, they're not motivated by the hard work of self-reflection or true change. They're motivated by the panic of losing the stability, the loyalty, the care that you once gave so freely. This isn't about building something new. It's about clinging to the past, hoping that somehow they can rewind time. As Epicus said, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. Right now, they're responding to their circumstances with frantic attempts, not calm, introspection for you. This stage is a crucial test of your resolve. It's natural to feel drawn to the intensity of their words, to wonder if maybe things could be different this time, but desperation is a temporary state. It's not a foundation for real change. Real transformation requires time, effort, and consistency, and it doesn't come from a place of panic. Think of their desperation like a wave crashing against a rock. It's powerful, forceful, and intense.